Hey, welcome back to SupeRonpoNatural, the show where I recap and review every single episode of Supernatural. It's a big project. Last episode was horny as hell, but this one takes it down a notch. I actually don't love this episode. It has a few plot holes that kind of bug me, but if you like it, try to convince me in the comments to like it more. Anyway, enough preamble, let's hop into Season 1, Episode 4, Phantom Traveler. We see a disheveled guy at an airport. His hair is messy, which in the language of TV means he's distraught. He's clearly nervous to fly. Or anxious. One of those.
Nervous flyer?
Guess we're going with nervous. Uh-oh. A black cloud of particles flies into his eyes. Fans of the show know where this is going, but I won't get ahead of myself. We see him again, and he's not nervous at all. His hair is even fixed, which is the universal sign for doing fine. Oh, his eyes are weird, which means he's evil. This is a trope that this show uses a lot, and I will be complaining about it a lot because it's often used in really stupid and really suspicious ways. It bugs me. Like, his eyes are normal here, so clearly he can turn off the weird eyes, and he just did it for effect. But the effect was to make him look super suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
I feel like I'm going to be using that clip a lot. He asks how long they've been in the sky. 40 minutes. Brace for painfully obvious pun!
Wow, time really does fly, huh?
Awful. He gets up, then does the thing everyone who's ever been in an airplane is unreasonably terrified will happen. He opens the emergency exit door. He also does the eye thing again, but this time at least it's probably too late for it to make any difference. The plane crashes. The boys are in a hotel room. Sam didn't sleep, but seems totally fine aside from talking a bit more soapily than usual.
Hey, what can I say? It's riveting TV.
But his eyes don't look nearly tired enough. I get 7 or 8 hours a night, and I still look like I got punched in the face. Although I think it's probably partly allergies or bad lighting. I'm getting distracted. The way Sam pronounces TV is equal parts endearing and infuriating.
TV.
Sam's having nightmares about Jess, which is totally fair because he watched her, burn alive. Dean gets a call from a guy named Jerry, who he helped with a poltergeist a few years back. Jerry needs help again. Back in the car, it's crazy how much they drive in this show. They meet up with Jerry. Jerry mentions that their dad John talked about Sam all the time, which I find surprisingly touching. Sam does too, though he tries to hide it. They listen to a recording of the plane crashing. At the end, there's a freaky snarl. They ask to see the wreckage of the plane, but it's locked up. So, they go to a printing place and Dean makes fake Homeland Security badges. I'm no expert, but it's gotta be harder than that, right? They notice there's EVP in the recording, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon, although I don't think they actually explain what it stands for in the episode, which is weird, but maybe I missed it. When it's filtered, they can hear, "No survivors," which is odd, because there were actually 7 survivors. Speaking of, Sam and Dean go to visit one of said survivors, Max, who's in a psych hospital. I suspect a lot of people they meet end up in psych hospitals. They ask if he saw something, and he does the classic Supernatural day player poker face, that is to say, a terrible one. Not a knock on his acting, it's just the reality that he has to signal certain things to the audience. They press him, and he admits to seeing a dude with black eyes. See? It's a bad idea! Though he also saw the guy open a door mid-flight, which would require superhuman strength, so maybe the eyes were just the icing on the suspicious cake. Next, the boys go to the house of the nervous guy with the expressive hair who got possessed. However, his wife has nothing useful to say, so that's a dead end. So it's time to suit up! Yes! In somewhat ill-fitting suits. Don't worry, they'll look way hotter in later seasons. The fake badges work, incredibly, and they get into the hangar to see the wreckage. Dean has an EMF, or electromagnetic frequency, meter. Sam asks what it is for the sake of exposition, but you gotta think he'd know what an EMF meter is at this point, no?
Yeah, I know what an EMF meter is, but why does that one look like a busted up Walkman?
Oh. Well played, writers. Well played. The emergency door handle sets off the meter. They scrape off some black gunk. But then the real Homeland Security guys show up. That's bad timing. Ruh-roh. Luckily, the boys manage to escape just in the nick of time. Next, we see the pilot from the flight. He's nervous to fly now. Zoinks! Ghost cloud! It's got the pilot! The boys learn that the gunk is sulfur, which Dean probably should have recognized, right? He must have come across it in his past hunts. Are the writers gonna make me look dumb again? No? Good. The pilot is feeling much better now. He asks how long they've been up. Don't say it!
Wow, time really does fly.
He said it. He crashes a plane, which we all knew was coming. Sam does some exposition about demons because the sulfur they found indicates demonic presence. Apparently the Japanese believe that some demons are responsible for various disasters, and maybe this demon is related to plane crashes. Then they get a call from Jerry that the pilot is dead, fittingly having crashed near Nazareth. Like, not that Nazareth, it's different Nazareth. If you were curious, I looked it up, and geotarget.com says there are 44 places in the world named Nazareth. That information will literally never be useful in your entire life, but now you have it. You're welcome. The boys noticed both planes went down after 40 minutes, as did 6 others over the last decade. According to biblical numerology, the number 40 means death. Sam and Dean realize, however, that this was the first time there were survivors. So it looks like the demon is going after the survivors. They check with the other survivors. Wow, I've said survivors a lot. And the only person planning to fly soon is the flight attendant. So another 5 hours of driving. Yow. They make it just in time, call Amanda, the flight attendant, and say her sister is in the hospital. Problem is, she just talked to her sister. They keep trying to get her to stay off the plane, but she hangs up. Dang. So the boys have to get on the plane too. But Dean's a nervous flyer. That's part of why he drives everywhere. It's pretty adorable, actually. Unfortunately, as we've seen, the demon seems to go for people in distress, and let me tell you, Dean is in distress. So there's this tension that Dean might get possessed. Dean reveals that he brought holy water onto the plane, which will burn the demon if it's thrown on the person it's possessing. Which is weird because this was post 9/11 and I feel like that kind of thing would not fly. See, that's how you do a flying pun. Another way to find the demon is to say the name of God, which Sam says is Cristo in Latin. I mean, he says Cristo, but ugh. And there are so many problems with this. First of all, Cristo is Portuguese for Christ. Think Cristo Redentor. In Latin, it's Christus. Second of all, that means Christ, not God. The Latin name for God is Jehovah. Have you not watched The Last Crusade, Sam?
The name of God, Jehovah.
And third of all, this is literally the only time they use this trick with demons. And let me tell you, spoiler alert, there are a ton of demons in this show, so it will be incredibly useful. So yeah, this part is dumb. Anyway, Dean chats up the flight attendant, tries Cristo on her, doesn't work. Dean starts freaking out. Sam reminds him that it's putting him at risk of possession. They're really stressing this point, almost as if they're setting Dean up to get possessed. Just kidding, it never happens. They totally missed an opportunity. Lay it on the pile of dumb parts of this episode. To defeat the demon, Sam has an incantation that first makes it more dangerous, allowing it to cause problems without possessing anyone, but then casts it back to hell. So they bust out the EMF meter. Eventually the meter acts up and they realize the demon has possessed the pilot, when Cristo makes it flinch and his eyes turn black. But this time it makes sense. They startled him, his eyes turned black. That's how you should use the black eyes. They tell Amanda what's up and ask for help. She believes them because she saw the demon's eyes the first time, which is even more evidence that showing your eyes just to be dramatic is really dumb. They ask her to bring the pilot out of the cockpit and bring him to them. And she does. Good job, Amanda. They smack him, cover his mouth, and holy water his ass. I mean, it's actually his chest, not his ass. That'd be weird. It's an expression. Sam starts the incantation, but Demon Guy manages to get free. And instead of getting up or fighting back, he just taunts Sam about his girlfriend, which is an odd choice. Then Sam puts the book down instead of finishing the damn incantation, and the book is, of course, kicked away. The demon floats into the vents and the plane starts crashing. Sam gets the book, finishes the incantation. Lightning hits the plane. Was that part of it? I don't know. Then the lightning fixes the plane, I guess, and it levels out. And Dean wishes he had worn his brown pants. Everyone's off the plane. The pilot's okay, doesn't even remember getting on the plane. Dean has one of his classic moments. I'm doing air quotes because I'm showing the moment on screen. Actually did air quotes, even though I know you can't see me right now, but this time it's from afar. Sam's freaked out the demon knew about Jess. Dean says it just read his mind, but Sam's unconvinced. Jerry thanks them and reveals that John's voicemail now says to call Dean if you have a problem, which is weird because that means he's updated his voicemail sometime recently, which means their dad's alive, but just not calling them for some reason. I think the reason's really dumb, but that's a story for another day. And that's the episode. As I said, not my favorite. There is no way they'd be able to get on the plane with the holy water. The Cristo thing was just flawed in so many ways. The fight with the demon was underwhelming, and it was overall just a disappointing episode. Definitely my least favorite so far. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10, and it's lucky to have that. But hey, if you disagree, let me know why in the comments. The IMDb rating is 8 out of 10, so clearly people do like it. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Anyway, I won't keep you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and if you want to help me out financially so that I can keep banging out these episodes at a faster rate, head to patreon.com/Ronpon. I have one patron right now, and he's a lonesome. You're the man, Neely. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next episode. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay smiling.